Okay, you are live now, side. 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 Okay, you are live now, side.
Anuj bhai, please join for Nitish Kumar. Accept his request.
नहीं नहीं वहाँ स्टार्ट किया मुझे उनका कुछ सुनाई नहीं
Hello, Ankita. You can start.
नहीं नहीं
Before I begin, may I just confirm if I'm audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Hello, Ankita. You can start.
Thank you, ma'am. A pleasant evening to everyone. I heartily welcome you all to the webinar on preparation strategy for Union Public Services Commission examinations. Before we begin, I take the pleasure to welcome just confirm if I'm audible.
Yeah, you are audible.
I welcome Bhardwaj Mushabir Hussain, founder member of Reva Rotary Club. A pleasant evening to everyone. He is the charter president of the club and has been in this post for past 3 webinar on preparation strategy for Union service Public Services Commission examinations. Of the best Before we begin, I take conferred by Reva University confirm if I'm audible. He also possesses excellent leadership skills. He was rewarded with youth leadership excellence. A pleasant evening to everyone. President of the club has been in this post. He has also been on preparation strategy for Union service Public Services Commission examinations. Before we begin, I take conferred by Reva University. Besides Rotary, he has also possessed excellent leadership skills, being the secretary of Karnataka Rakshana Vedike in the year 2015. He is a person who has always worked for upbringing of others. Being an open-hearted person, he has donated essential commodities for the needy. He has also been a state-level volleyball player and has worked as student coordinator for IEEE 2018 Second International Conference on Advanced in Electronics, Computers and Communication conducted at Reva University. We are glad to have such a kind soul and a great achiever with us today. We welcome you, sir. Next IAS, an initiative of Made Easy Group, is a premier institute for UPSC civil services examination. This institution is headquartered at Delhi. They have a faculty panel which induces professors, ex-civil servants, and subject experts. Since its inception, Next IAS has been able to build a deeper association with its students. Due to its constant and continuous efforts to guide and mentor every student of Next IAS family through quality teaching and personalized support. In UPSC Civil Service Examination 2019, Next IAS produced 4 ranks in top 10 and more than 47 selections in top 100 with overall 327 final sections. We are glad to have 2 eminent faculties from this institution with us today. Firstly, I would like to welcome Mrs. Ruchika Bhardwaj, an eminent faculty from Next IAS with vast experience of civil services examinations and other government exams. She is known for her presentation skills and mentoring civil services aspirants from 2016. We are grateful to have you with us this evening, ma'am. We welcome you. We also have with us Mr. Rishi Anand, who has completed his BTech from BIT Sindri in Electronics and Communication. After completing his BTech, he worked with Electronics Corporation of India Limited for 3 years. In the year 2015, he started preparing for civil services examination. In 2019, UPSC CSC, he achieved All India rank 145. We are glad to have such a great achiever with us today. We welcome you, sir. Without much delay, I request the guests to take over and acknowledge the students. Over to you, ma'am, and over to you, sir.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and a very, very
Thank you to the Reva University for giving us this opportunity to connect with such a young audience today, and that too in the times of pandemic. Yeah, thanks to the technology that in spite of the pandemic, we are able to connect to you people. Yeah, thank you very much, Reva University. And thank you for the beautiful introduction. And now let us start directly talking about the civil service preparation. Next IS is a name in this field. We are there for the last, this is our third running batch. We are there since 2017 and there have been very good results from Next IS. So let's talk about civil services. Before that, let me tell you, like, we have got some questionnaire from your university. Some of the students have sent the questionnaire. So I have a compilation of the questionnaire. So many of the questions have been on the basics of this exam, how to prepare for this, what actually is this exam all about. So today, Rishi Anand and myself, both of us are going to answer to your queries, and you are welcome to ask more queries if you have any. So to begin with, civil services. Civil services is one exam which almost everyone in India aspires to take up. And if you see in the recent times, during pandemic, the respect or the regard for civil services has further increased. We have seen how police people, how administration people, how your DMs, your SDMs, your police, everyone is tirelessly working to save the people from this coronavirus. So civil services is, you can say that civil servants are the backbones of a nation, because politicians, they come and go, political parties, they come to the power for certain years, but it is the career bureaucrats who form the backbone of this nation. So lot depends on civil service. The nation's development growth depends on the civil service. We often hear about civil services, but the question is, what is the civil services? Who conducts the exam? What all different positions are there in this exam? What are the different posts in this exam? And then there was one query which was like, is it clearing UPSC is difficult? Is it a myth or a fact? So we are going to take up everything right now. See, civil service exams are conducted every year by UPSC, that is Union Public Service Commission. And someone has asked about the pattern. If you see the pattern of this exam, it is conducted into 3 stages. First is your prelims. In prelims, we have 2 papers. One is your GS paper, and second is your CSAT. That is your aptitude test is there, and both the papers are of 200 marks. And here, this is just a qualifying paper. You do not, your marks would not be added in the further stages. It is just a qualifying. If you qualify it, then you are eligible for the mains. Otherwise, you have to again appear for the exam next year. So one thing is your prelims. Prelims, here you have this GS paper where you have history, you have geography, you have current affairs, you have ecology, environment, you have science and technology. The syllabus is given by UPSC. You can go to the UPSC website and see what is the latest notification, and there you can easily get the syllabus also. And someone has said ki syllabus, from where to get the syllabus. So I would say it's the most authentic to see the syllabus is to go to the recent notification, because many times there are minor changes in the syllabus also. So directly go to the UPSC website. It is very student friendly. You can go there and you can see the syllabus. And then once you qualify this prelims, then we have mains. In mains, we have one language paper. That is again a qualifying paper. There, your marks would not be added in the mains exam. But yes, if you are not qualifying those papers, then your papers for mains would not be checked. So you have this language paper is there. And then you have English paper 1. Then apart from that, we have general studies. You might have come across many people who might have said कि बहुत पढ़ना पड़ता है. We have to study lot many subjects. So here comes many subjects under the GS syllabus. We have, like, under GS, technically GS1 is your essay. Technically, if you see the syllabus, GS1 is your essay. Here you are given an option. Nowadays, UPSC is asking you to write 2 essays. So you are given options. There are 2 sections. Section 1, 4 questions are there. Section 2, 4 questions are there. And from these, out of 8 topics, you have to write 2 topics, 1 from each section. It's not like two from one section. You cannot do that. You have to choose 1 from each section. And then we have GS1, GS2, GS3, and GS4. So this GS1, it comprises of subjects like history, geography, and social issues are there. Then we have paper 2. Paper 2, GS paper 2, that includes your polity, governance, international relations, and post-independence, how the developments have happened in India. So that includes your paper 2. Then in paper 3, we have economics, we have disaster management, we have internal security, we have science and technology. And then you have paper 4, which is your ethics paper. Here, the questions are asked to test your ethics and morality. So there are certain, it is again subdivided. Here you get case studies also, like some of you might be doing MBA, they say MBMA, you get the case studies. Here also you have situational questions. You have case studies, and then you have other theoretical and very general questions. Like sometimes they ask you what according to you is happiness. As simple as this. That is basically to test your personality. And then you have to have one optional subject. There also, we will talk about how to choose optional and all those things. But yes, I am just giving you an idea of how the system of this UPSC civil service exam is. Then you have one optional, and the optional is it's up to you. You might be an engineer, but you might not be interested in engineering subjects. So you might even choose from humanity subjects. You might be a doctor, you might be a lawyer, or you might be a humanity subject graduate. Say, for example, you might have done history honors, but you want to take sociology as an optional. So UPSC is giving you that freedom. In spite of having a technical degree, you can opt for any of the subjects which are enlisted in the syllabus. Out of that, you can choose any of the subjects. And there also you have 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2, optional paper 1 and paper 2. And your essay GS 1, 2, 3, 4 and your optional paper 1, paper 2 each carry 250 marks. Yeah, each carry 250 marks. And then you have, once you qualify this, once you have qualified your mains, then comes your personality test. UPSC does not call it interview. Interview is not about your knowledge testing here. It's your about personality, whether you are suited for this civil service exams or not. Then you have personality test, where you are being interviewed by a panel of specialists in UPSC. Generally, there are 5 people, and it is of 275 marks. So this is what is just a preview about this exam. So if you want to go in depth, like what they are asking in history, what they are asking in geography, you can go to the UPSC website. They have clearly mentioned the syllabus for your prelims, syllabus for your mains is there. And even for your interview, they tell you what kind of personality they are looking forward to. Though it's not a syllabus, but yes, they mention certain qualities, what they would be looking forward in a candidate. So this is a general idea about this exam. Now, sometimes, not sometimes, but yes, in India, it is said that it is one of the most difficult exams. That's why somebody has even put a question in the questionnaire. Is it a myth or reality? Is it really a difficult exam? See, if you ask me personally, I don't think it is a very difficult exam. It has been just hyped that it is a very, very difficult exam. What I understand is when people say it's difficult because many people appear for this. On an average, every year, 8 to 10 lakh people are going to write for prelims. And then total final selections, depending on the number of vacancies that year, it varies from 700 to maximum 1,000. Sometimes exceptional 1,050 or 1,100, but that is very, very exceptional. So that is why, like 10 lakh people chasing for 700 and 750 jobs. So it becomes difficult. And then everything under the sun, people say you have to study everything: history, civics, geography, everything you have to study. So that is why they say that it is difficult. But believe me, this is not at all a difficult exam, because when you start preparing for this exam, this history, this geography, this economics, you have already studied. You have already studied in your standard 6, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. You have already done that. The only thing is that time we have not given enough patience and enough attention to these subjects. UPSC is asking you history, geography, and all these subjects at the level of standard 12th students. It's not like they are asking you PhD level questions from history or somewhere else. General studies is general studies. UPSC clearly says that any person who should be, one should be well informed, well aware. Informed person जिसको जितना पता होना चाहिए, that much you should be knowing about this exam. They are not looking for experts. This civil service is a generalist exam. This is not a specialist exam. If you want to go for specialist exams, so UPSC has exams for statistical officers, UPSC has exam for engineering services, they have for medical services. But here in civil services, this is a journalist exam, because they know even a doctor would be writing the same question paper, even an engineer, someone with arts background, someone with accountancy background, everyone is going to write the same question paper. So this is a journalist exam. And believe me, this is very, very doable. If you don't want to believe me, then at least see the results of UPSC every year. You will find that many of the students who are qualifying this exam are from the remotest parts of the country. Many of the students do not have the 24/7 accessibility of the internet. Many of them have not gone to a English medium school till their 12th, or even in their graduation, they have done it from a small college in their village or in their small town. But they are qualifying this exam with very good ranks. So this clearly shows that every time we see that people whose parents are from a very economically not that good strata, but they are clearing this exam. So what does this show? This shows that this exam is very much doable. This exam is not about test of your English or any other knowledge. This exam is just a test of your personality, whether you are suited to govern, to be a part of the governance of the country or not. And then if you see what to study, how to study, it is simply if you are determined that yes, and right now you people are sitting at your homes, you are not coming to the colleges and universities. So those who really want to prepare, how to start, at least you start reading your basic NCRTs. Standard 6, 7, generally it is not required to read from standard 6. You can read from 9, 10th, 11. But yes, I would suggest, because what happens is, say for example, I am doing engineering. I have left connection with history for after my school. I have never read history. Just to get a reconnect with it, you can begin with standard 6. So standard 6, 7, 8, 9, and these NCRTs are just like your small novels, very small novels. You can read it in, say, a week, you can read the whole NCRT. And they are very simply written, simply worded. So we can at least start to begin with. First thing is, go to the UPSC website, see the syllabus. And then you go and then you see the previous year question papers, which are also available on the UPSC website. And otherwise also many institutes, they have given the previous year question papers are there. So you see the previous year question papers. And believe me, many of the questions, when you see them, you will say, this question I can answer without even without even preparing for UPSC. Like they have asked, once they have asked a question, what is the similarity and differences between smart cities and Indus Valley civilization? So Indus Valley, you have studied, smart cities we are studying every day in the newspapers, and you can easily connect to that. It is a very general question. What according to you is happiness? No one can teach you what according to you is happiness. You cannot mug up this. If this is your own answer, answer has to be your own. So I'm giving you these kind of examples just to show that this exam, believe me, it is a very, very doable exam. You have to be very focused. Limit your syllabus, limit your content, limit your resources. See the syllabus. UPSC never goes beyond the syllabus. Yeah, it is clearly, it has given you the syllabus and it revolves around the syllabus. So try to mug up the syllabus, see your previous year question papers, and then to begin with, at least start reading your basic NCRTs, and slowly you can develop your interest. And then there are certain basic books that are given. You can see the list from various toppers. Even I think Rishi is going to tell you about those books. You can refer to those books, and then you can easily do this exam. So this exam is, my purpose here is that to motivate you. If you really want to take up this exam, please don't get discouraged. This is not at all a difficult exam. If this is a difficult exam, then any other exam is equally difficult. I think IIT JEE, you have to get 98% percentile, 99.9% percentile. But when you talk about UPSC, this is one exam where if you are getting 52 to 55% marks, you are all India ranker. You're all India first ranker. Believe me, not even 60%. 55% marks, you are all India first ranker. Some of the students, they are saying, can we do this exam along with our work? If we are working professionals, can we take up this exam? You have the example of this year's topper, All India Rank 1, Pradeep. He was working and he has topped the exam. So there is like, I just see these things as excuses, and it depends on the individual also. Don't give yourself excuse that, yes, I am working, so I cannot do it. People have shown it. So I am just in the first year, I am hardly 22 years, I cannot do this exam. People have shown it. Then after even like 5 attempts, 6 attempts, I am not able to do it. It means I am not able to do it. But we have examples where people have followed this exam for 5 years, 6 years, and they have done it. So we have all examples of all kinds of all sorts. So it is very much doable, and everyone can write this exam. Everyone, even if you're not good at English, you can be an all India topper. It's not the test of your language. It's the test of your personality, your analytical skills, and all those things. And one last thing, if you really want to prepare for this exam, you want to have some interest. If you really have some interest in this exam, I would say one thing: whether you give this exam or not, but at least prepare for it once, it will make you a very different personality. Because right now, if you are an engineering student, you are just studying engineering. If you are a law student, you are just studying law. But when you are preparing for UPSC, you know what is happening around India, what is happening in internal security, what is happening in economics, when the figures are going up, going down, GDP, repo rate, everything you know. And this information makes you a very, very different, very, very enriched personality. Exam देना is a different thing. Prepare करके अपने आप को, अपनी personality को, you are going to improve your personality. Believe me, if you sincerely prepare for this exam, you are going to be a very, very different, very changed, positively changed personality. So at least prepare, at least try. Everyone should try for this. And the basic qualification for this exam is just a graduation of any stream. You can be a graduate with a third class. We have first class, second class, third class. There are so many toppers in UPSC who have failed in their standard 10th, standard 12th, and they have got very, very low percentage in their graduations, but they are all India toppers. So again, I would say, please try for this exam. At least try, at least prepare. You can do it at your own also. It's not required that you come to Delhi or you come to some mega city and then prepare. You can sit quietly at your home and prepare for this exam. And it's a very achievable target. Now, I would ask Mr. Ravi Anand to elaborate more on this. Yes, Ravi. Unmute yourself. Unmute. Ravi, unmute.
Thank you very much, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving a very detailed explanation of the pattern of the examination. You have told the students in a very holistic manner about the pattern of the exam, how to study, how to motivate yourself. So I would like to thank you very much for this. And I would like to tell students that I started my preparation for this examination from 2015. Before that, I was not preparing for the exam. I was working in a PSU, but I was not getting time for the preparation because the work demand was such that it was quite critical in nature. So I had to leave the job and decided to go for the civil services exam. The second thing which I would like to tell you, there must be some source of inspiration. There must be some cause that motivates you to go for the exam, because this exam is covering a very large syllabus. So you must have an inner motivation to go for this exam, that you will be having perseverance, having patience, you will be doing hard work, and with positive outlook, you will be covering all the subjects without expecting for results in the nearby. So whether it is positive or negative, you have to work hard for the exam, and there has to be some planning. For example, for the beginners, I would like to say, as Madam has said, uh, go through the syllabus. First of all, we must be knowing what is the syllabus of the UPSC exam. Then the second point is that from where to read those syllabus. There must be some standard books, there must be some standard sources which we have to refer. So we must be knowing those standard sources. Then the point comes that after knowing the sources, we have to study. Then how to study? So I would like to say, make a plan. Make a plan, a weekly plan you can make. You can assign slots to your subjects. And after planning, you can continue your study. Then keep on studying the subjects and try to regularize each and every subject. Give optimum frequency to each and every subjects, because every subjects will be requiring revision. So try to read subjects on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, and try to revise them. Then the point comes, after studying these all things, what we should do, how should we evaluate ourselves? Now here comes the role of the test series, that while studying we must be giving test, because it will help in assessing ourselves where we are standing at present. So for practice, we can join a test series. So many test series are available online. You can join Next IS test series, and so by giving test, you can have an overview in which areas where you are lacking, and in which areas you are trying to improve yourself. So test series will also help you in giving a better revision of all the topics which you have studied. So keep on giving test. And apart from test, the other thing is that we have to study, we have to give test, and again we have to revise the things in a very holistic manner in regular intervals. So these three things are the basic strategies at every stage of the exam, whether it is pre, whether it is mains, and obviously there will be interview. So obviously, for as far as my preparation was concerned, I would like to tell you that I used to integrate the preparation for pre and mains. There was nothing separate preparation for pre or mains. My preparation strategy was integrated. There are some subjects like polity, like history, geography, economics, which are common in pre and mains. But there are some subjects, some topics like world history, post independence, ethics, which are asked in your mains examination. They are not asked in your pre examination. So I will say the beginners that go with those subjects which are common both in pre as well as in mains. Then the point is how to study the things from mains perspective, from pre perspective. I will say purchase some previous year papers, 2025 years question papers you will be getting from those markets. So prepare a question set on pre as well as on mains. Go through the questions because questions will reflect the type of questions being asked in the examination, being in the UPSC examination. Because in a chapter, in a polity book, in a chapter, you will be going through several topics, but not all information will be equally beneficial. So, what to pick up, what to leave, you will be getting to know all these aspects only through the previous year papers. It will be applicable both in pre as well as in mains. So my integration strategy was that I was preparing both for the pre as well as for the mains. I would also like to tell students that during my first four attempts, I could not qualify prelims. So obviously, I would have made certain mistakes, that's why I could not qualify prelims. And I would just like to tell students that what should not be done so that they may not repeat these mistakes. I will say if you are reading something, revise them properly. Along with revision, give test and again analyze those things. Now you will be having model answer sheet. So whenever you are giving some test, go through that model answer sheet and also take it as your notes. Whatever you are not knowing, whatever is new to you, underline or highlight on those model answer sheets and treat it as your notes. So regularly revise those model answer sheets also. So this is very much important. Give tests at regular intervals, analyze them, and if you are giving some 20, 25 prelims test, I think you will be in a better position to crack the exam in your first attempt. So everything has to be done in a very holistic manner and try to have an in-depth understanding of each and every topic. Don't try to complete any topic in a very hurried manner because whatever happens if we our main emphasis is to cover the syllabus. So what we do, we just keep on reading the things, we don't revise them. So after 15 or 20 days those things will go out of our mind. So I will like to say don't do this like this. Read something, revise that at regular intervals, give test and analyze where you are and analyze your test and evaluate yourself. So this is the basic fundamentals of this preparation strategy, I will say. So yes, ma'am.
Okay, Rishi, let us take some of the questions which they are asking.
Yes.
Like we have got the questionnaire also, and some of the live questions also are there. So one question is, let us take it from the webinar from the like printout that they have sent us, and then we'll take the live questions as well.
Yes,
See,
ma'am.
someone has asked how to manage daily current affairs and how to make notes on current affairs.
Yes.
Yes, Rishi.
Uh, with respect to myself, I used to study the Hindi newspaper online. So I have subscribed to the Hindi newspaper and I used to study it online and then I used to make its notes and note it down in MS Word. So that was one thing of getting newspaper. Then the second point is that while reading a newspaper, analyze the content in two manners. One with respect to the pre-perspective and second with respect to the mains perspective. For example, while reading a content, you will be finding that there will be name of several national parks, several wildlife sanctuaries, or some species which are critically endangered. They are coming in the news. So write those things in your MS Word file from P perspective. On the other hand, while going through the newspapers editorials, you will be finding a detailed explanation of several topics. For example, this Disaster Management Act during this COVID pandemic, and there will be role of a speaker. So then, what is about this fiscal deficit? So these kind of things you will be getting answers to be explained in mails. So you will be finding those editorials in the newspaper. So go through those editorials, find out the points, and jot it down in your MS Word file. And the second thing is that apart from newspaper, we have to go through several magazines like Yojana, Kurukshetra. So these are some of the magazines, but sometimes it is not possible to cover each and every magazine. Then we try to go for monthly current affairs, because whatever that have we may have missed from newspaper and other magazines, we are getting all those things integrated at one place, that is monthly current affairs. If you go through next year's monthly current affairs, they are presenting the things in a very holistic manner with beautiful pictures, beautiful diagrams and data, and it will also attract you to read those contents. So I will say follow one monthly current affairs on a monthly basis. So that will be sufficient for current affairs. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, newspaper reading is a very, very important part. If you see, most of the questions in GS are covered from your current affairs only. So newspaper note making, it all depends on your individual. Some people make it, some people do not make it. It depends on you. But yes, it is always preferable to have your own notes. Means it gives you a like you are having a more analytical. You develop analytical skills when you try to make notes from a particular topic or from a particular editorial. But it all depends on you. But yes, one newspaper religiously you have to follow. You may take the Hindu or the Indian Express because they are fulfilling the demand of this exam. आप इनमें से कोई भी न्यूज़पेपर ले सकते हैं, और इसके साथ आप चाहो तो जैसे अभी रवि इन्होंने ऋषि ने भी बताया कि आप इसके साथ जो है आप कोई भी करंट अफेयर्स की मैगजीन मंथली ले सकते हो, या फिर आप राज्यसभा टीवी वगैरह में भी कई बार लाइव चैट्स आ रही होती हैं तो आप उनको भी सुन सकते हो. बिग पिक्चर करके आता है तो उसमें भी डिबेट्स डिस्कशंस होते हैं. दैट हेल्प्स यू इन एनालाइजिंग अ पर्टिकुलर इशू. Then what are the different fields in civil services? See, this is like civil service exam. When you appear for this exam, it is not that you are going to become only IAS. There are 24 different posts under this. IAS, IPS, IFS, foreign services there, IRTS is there, postal services there, audit and account services are there. Then we have DANEX, like we have altogether almost 24 different categories are there. So it's not like once you are appearing for this exam and you have qualified, you are going to become an IAS. Depending on the number of vacancies of that particular position in that year, you are selected. But yes, the top posts are generally your IAS or IFS, the people who are topping, or if it is your personal choice, you might even fill IPS as a first option. So depending on your ranking, you are getting the various posts under this exam. Then there is they have asked a question, how to select optional subject.
Yes, ma'am. I will say there are two criteria. First one, obviously, the personal interest. And second, I will say the possibility of getting marks in the exam. These two factors really determine what option you are choosing. And for example, those who are in graduation, I will say preferably you can go with your graduation paper, because an optional takes almost 4 to 5 months. If you are not prepare it during your graduation, then obviously it will be taking around 4 to 5 months. So I will say students who are in engineering, who have engineering background or non-engineering background, if possible, they can go through the UPSC website, as you have already said, go through the previous year papers, see what are the questions being asked from your graduation paper, and try to go through your syllabus through your college in that particular manner. Because if you are able to complete optional during your college days, you will be able to save 4 to 5 months of time, which is a huge time, and that will really help you in getting into the services earlier. So I will say it depends upon the personal interest, but obviously, if there is feasibility to pick up your own graduation paper as your optional paper, go for it. And obviously, for engineering aspirants, Next IAS is also providing so many content, so many coachings. So I think they are the best in engineering streams. So one can preferably go for it.
Someone has asked, can we take engineering subjects as optional? Yes, engineering subjects, yes, people are taking engineering subject as optionals and they are scoring good ranks also. So it all depends on an individual. what optional should be chosen, it all depends on you, your choice, your interest, and how comfortable you are, because at the end of the day you have to write this exam. If I say you choose this optional but you are not comfortable with that, so I would say please don't go by that. And also don't go by the notion that yes, maximum people are doing it, so let me do it. Because if you don't know about that subject, you do not have interest about that subject, then how will you write? So first take some time, think about the optional. Otherwise many times we have seen, like, first we have chosen one optional, after 2 3 exams we have to change the optional. So that is just a wastage of your time and energy. So yes, with engineering subjects also people are qualifying this exam. We have engineering subjects, and even next IS is giving your optional engineering optional coachings also. So if you want any kind of help, assistance, next IS is there for you. Especially for engineering subject, we have this. And even for somebody has asked us, like, do we have philosophy optional at next IS? Yes, we do have philosophy optional at next IS. Then another question is, can we prepare this exam for this exam along with our graduation or along with our job?
Yes, ma'am, of course it is. So first of all, I will say it totally depends upon your interest. That why one should know why am I pursuing this civil services? Because once it is in your mind, you will start making time for itself. For example, usually during graduation we have 5 to 6 hours of classes. So after those 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours of classes, we can see what amount of leisure time is available to us, and what is our plan. Means in how many years are we going to, means what is our plan? Means how long it will take for me to crack this exam? Are we planning for 2 years or 3 years, like this? So accordingly we can make the plan and planning. This you have to incorporate your graduation paper along with this preparation for the civil services. So you can, as I've already told the people, he make some slots. So in those slots, try to study the basic books. Try to study those basic quality book, history book, because that will help you in basing the basic building blocks of the exam. And after 2 to 3 years, I will say you will be in a position to go through the current affairs of the things, because they are dynamic in nature. So after your graduation, you will be having free time. You can go through the current affairs, relate with the things which you have studied during your graduation time preparation. And I will say one more thing, that during college, group study is one of the most important thing. Now, students must emphasize on group study, because that will make your task very much easier. There are a unit in a polity book. You can divide those units among the people. One unit is hardly of 4 to 5 pages, and the language is very simple. So if a student, 4 or 5 students on a group, they can study the entire unit. They can discuss among themselves, and they can also, while discussions and deliberations, I think it helps in getting the things acquainted in a much better manner. So I think, ma'am, group study will be one of the basic and important things in college days.
Yes, even like during this preparation also this group studies, because आपको एक दूसरे से मदद मिलती है. जैसे कि अभी ऋषि ने बताया कि आपका सिलेबस भी डिवाइड हो जाता है, प्लस साथ में एक दूसरे को आप पॉइंट आउट कर सकते हैं कि यहाँ आपको इम्प्रूव करने की जरूरत है. एंड जब वो अपने पीयर ग्रुप से वो पता चलता है, तो यू टेक इट इन अ वेरी पॉजिटिव मैनर, एंड एक दूसरे की आप हेल्प करते हो, तो दैट रियली हेल्प्स. बट द थिंग इज, द ग्रुप शुड बी equally serious for this exam. That is very important. Yes.
And about this, about those who are working, who are working, I will say ki, see, one thing which we have to understand, that this exam is going to take time. You have to complete the syllabus, you have to practice, you have to revise. So it doesn't matter whether you are working or not. If you are giving the ample amount of time which is required to crack this examination, it may take some 2 to 3 years, but a point will come where you will be able to crack this exam. So for those who are working, who are doing job, I will say have patience, cover the syllabus in a very efficient manner, take your time, do not go in a hurried manner, revise, and I think you will be able to crack this exam. So
Yes. Somebody has asked, how good is this maths optional?
See, ma'am, I will say कि I have seen people who are getting good marks in mathematics, and they are getting also very good ranks in civil services. So it's a good optional. If somebody has great interest in mathematics, I will say they can go for it.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
maths is optional. If you see every year, like in the past 3-4 years or maybe 5 years, you will see that people with mathematics are really doing good. So yes, maths is a very good option if you have interest, and if and even if you want some kind of a help, is there somebody to help you out, then you should go for it. And even at Next IS, we have assistance for your maths optional also. Somebody has asked me this. Then there is a question: what is the strategy for answer writing in mains?
Yes, answer writing forms one of the means it is the major component in mains. See, we study the material, we know the content, and every answer there is a basic structure of an answer. Mainly, there are four things which we have to put in an answer. First one is introduction. How we are introducing whatever is being asked in the examination. We have to give a particular introduction in our answer. We can start the introduction either with the definition part or with some data, or if there is something in the news related to that topic, we can give it in our introduction part. Then the second thing is body of an answer. Now this body should directly reflect what is being asked in the questions. So we can write the contents either in point format or paragraph format in whichever manner we are convenient. So the body should address the demand of the question. Then the third point is we can put either some flow diagram or some other sort of line diagrams in our answers if applicable. It is not necessary to put these things in every answer. And one thing I will like to tell you, please note that those maps or those diagrams should be prepared previously. Means we should come it in a prepared manner. It is not that in our examination we are thinking about some diagram and we are putting it there, because it will take a lot of time. So come prepared with the diagram, and if applicable, put it there in your answer. And the last one is the conclusion part. So in our conclusion part, we simply conclude in a very positive manner. We write some schemes if there is there, or if some in economics we go for budget or some economic survey. If it is it is saying something, we put it there. So always remember, an answer has four parts. If you are writing the answers in these four structured manners, I think it will be sufficient. So this is all about the answer writing. So
Okay. Somebody has asked a question how to, like, about the scholarship test at Next IS. Yes, we do conduct scholarship tests, and please keep on visiting our website whenever the next, because of this corona, things have been withheld. So please keep yourself updated with our website. Whenever there'll be a next scholarship test, we will be announcing it on the website, and you will be able to see that and appear in that. So people who score good marks in this test, they get very good scholarships. So this free coaching, or what you have asked about the scholarship test, yes, we provide scholarships provided you clear that scholarship test. Then there is a question about how to prepare for engineering services, and how to what is about engineering services and forest services. See, again, engineering and forest services, they are conducted by your UPSC only. In engineering service also, there is, like, you have prelims, you have mains, and then you have your personality test, your interview rather, you are there. And for that, you can go to the Made Easy website, and you will get all the details about it. And as far as forest service exams is concerned, we have, like, the civil service exam prelims is a combined prelims for forest as well as for your civil service examination, but only the difference is the cutoff is higher for your forest service examinations. Yeah, for forest service and others, we have the same prelims. I am repeating it, the same prelims is there, but after the prelims, mains are different and the interviews are different. So the only thing is prelims is same, but it is with a higher cutoff. So again, conducted by UPSC. Now someone has asked a question, how to prepare notes from NCRT, because everything looks very important in NCRT. So here I would suggest, Everything looks very important. Even when you start reading newspapers, everything looks very important. Everything you will think this might come in the exam. तो इसका ट्रिक क्या है? As we have mentioned before only, आप syllabus देखो, आप previous year question papers देखो, so that you do not get haywired. आप इधर उधर नहीं भटको. आपको अगर आपने 4-5 बार सिलेबस देखा है, 5-6 बार क्वेश्चन पेपर्स देखे हैं, तो आपको अपने आप पता चल जाएगा कि एनसीईआरटी से क्या पढ़ना है, क्या नहीं पढ़ना है, क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है. You see, initially you need to give time to this exam. Initially, believe me, 10 months, honest 10 months. भले आप दिन में 4 घंटे पढ़ो, but वो honest आपके efficient 4 घंटे होने चाहिए. Initially 10 months preparation, and then उसके बाद तो आप just improve करते हो अपने आप को. But yes, in the beginning, you need to put those 10 months for this, at least minimum 10 to 12 months for this preparation. Somebody has asked a question, Rishi. They have asked how to maintain this rhythm during the exam preparation. कभी mood on होता है, कभी off होता है, कभी आप demotivated हो जाते हो. So how to maintain that kind of a rhythm?
Yeah, ma'am, I will just say I would like to tell people that, as I've said, it was my 5th attempt, and in my previous 4 attempts, I could not qualify even prelims. So obviously, it was quite hard for me to go through these 4 years. But one thing was there कि I decided to prepare for the civil services exam. Or that thing was there in my mind that I have to crack this exam. And positive outlook is a very important factor which I would like to say you should have in your mind at all points of time. So whatever is happening, don't bother about it. Have a positive outlook, restart yourself, refresh yourself, and always remember one thing. If you have to win the battle, you have to be there on the battleground. So instead of thinking too much, we should always sit on our table chair. We should always think about the exam. Whatever is happening, we should not be bothered about. We should be ready with our pen and paper. We should be ready with our syllabus. We should be always ready with the things that are required to crack this exam. So have patience, do hard work, have perseverance, and the most important thing, have positive outlook, because that will energize you further to go ahead and ahead, and that will eventually lead to the cracking of the exam. So I will say this thing from my side.
Yes, this exam is not an exam where you are getting the results in just 1 or 2 months.
Yes.
It is almost, if you are getting through this exam in the first year, then also you have to at least give 1 year or 1 year plus for your preparation. And if you want to improve upon your rank, and if you supposedly in one attempt you have qualified prelims but not mains, in the second you have not qualified prelims, in the third you have qualified prelims, mains, but not your personality test. So here you need to have that much of patience, perseverance. You have to be very focused and very, very positive, because this is what you want to achieve. You need to have that kind of motivation, and believe me, it comes from yourself only. No one can motivate you better than you yourself. So you have to keep yourself motivated. And as far as your rhythm or your consistency in studies is concerned, it is, see, we all are humans. We cannot say we are not robots. 10 hours means 10 hours. Sometimes we are just sitting for 10 hours, but we are not gaining even for 1 hour. Efficiency is very, very low. Why? Because we are not in a mood, health problem is there, family problem is there, any kind of a problem might be there. No one can say no. I have studied 24 into 7, 365 days consistently for this exam. So there are ups and downs. The only thing is कि there should be target, as initially only Rishi has said that we can at least fix a weekly target or a monthly target. ठीक है, अगर हमने सोचा है इस हफ्ते में हमने ये 2 चैप्टर्स करने हैं, किसी हो सकता है हम एक दिन में 1.5 चैप्टर कर लें, और हो सकता है 3 दिन लगा के हम आधा चैप्टर क्लियर करें, बट आवर टारगेट शुड बी फिक्स्ड कि नहीं, हमें करना है तो करना है. बट यस, एवरी डे this much of our, no. I have some of the students who have qualified this exam, and they are physically or challenged people, or they are differently abled people. Like Sparsh has been there last year, he has become IS. Then there are so many. Beno has been there, she has become an first blind IFS officer. So these people, when you talk to them, They do not have everything in braille. Yeah, they cannot read the things like we can do it. So when you ask them how do we prepare, they would say we would wait for some people who would come and read for us, and then we would prepare our notes. So hardly 5 hours or 6 hours of studies, but consistency and that honesty in 4 hours, that matters. It's not like number of hours. Consistency means your true consistency, your honest time devoted to it, be it your 2 hours, be it your 20 hours, है ना. तो आपको जो है इसमें कंसिस्टेंसी का ऐसा, मुझे तो कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं लगता है कि मुझे 8 घंटे पढ़ना है तो पढ़ना ही है. अगर वो 8 घंटे आप उसको जेन्युइनली ऑनेस्टली दे रहे हैं तब तो ठीक है, नहीं तो आज मूड नहीं कर रहे हैं तो एक दिन आप ब्रेक ले लीजिए. ऐसा कुछ इसमें वो हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है. द ओनली थिंग मैटर्स इज योर रिजल्ट. So your result will say कि आपने जो है कितनी मेहनत की है ना. So anyways, another question has been new batch for, when are you going to launch the new batch for 2021? We have already started the batches for 2021. So I would suggest you, and people have asked me questions do you give engineering optional courses and all. Please visit our website, Next IS website, mechanical engineering. Somebody is asking about electrical engineering. We have these options. Please go to the website and refer to the website, and we have the numbers given. You can mail us, you can call our offices, and you will get all your queries solved. Then there is a question, Rishi.
Yes, ma'am.
I call you Ravi because his younger brother was also there, and fortunately he is also in the services. He is in IS right now, and this time it is Rishi's turn. So Rishi, the question is how to crack interview.
Actually, this is its answer could be quite holistic because see, interview, as madam has rightly said, it is a personality test. So whatever we are knowing, we present it in our PT, in our mains, all our theoretical knowledge. So what are the practical aspects of being a civil servant? What is your thought process if you are put in those positions? Now, what should we be? How do we think? How should we behave? Those things will, I will say, are integrated in a personality test. One thing, whenever we are preparing for personality test, we fill a detailed application form in which all our details are there, right from our childhood, where we have studied, in which towns we have resided, about occupations, about our hobbies, about our leadership qualities. So these things are there in our detailed application form. We have to go through each and every keyword in our detailed application form, try to formulate answers, try to formulate questions, then sub questions, and then sub questions until we come to an end. And we have to write those things, we have to prepare separate notes because most of the things they will be asking from your dad, because those interviewer who are there, they in front of them they will have only your DAF, so they will pick up most of the questions from DAF, and they will apply those particular traits to check your personality with the current aspect. If for example uh, COVID is happening on a large scale, they will ask you, if you are made the DM of a particular district, then how will you handle this particular pandemic? For example, in Bihar, there are floods. So they can simply ask you about how you can control floods and pandemic on the same in the same manner. So these things, whatever we have put in our detailed application form, we have to go through them very sincerely, and the interviewers may relate those particular traits to the current things which are happening in the country. So we have to prepare in that particular manner. And there are institutes like Next IS who are giving integrated guidance, interview guidance program. I have also attended the guidance interview guidance program, and it really helped me a lot. For example, madam was there. I have still, remembered so many things about the IR section. So whatever madam taught me the keywords, because we are knowing IR, but the point is, if the interviewer is asking you something, you have to say a particular keyword so that it can reflect your answer in a simple manner. So those things you will be getting through the guidance program. Also, there are mock interviews which will help you, because in mock interviews the panelists are very much experienced, and they will ask you questions about your DAP, and they will be really preparing you in a very detailed and in a very good manner for your upcoming interview in the UPSC. So I think join any interview guidance program. They will help you in a very good manner.
Yeah, see, basically, interview preparation is what? It is the reflection of your personality, what you are. And your personality depends on the knowledge that you have. And the knowledge is, it's not only about the knowledge that you have gained during your preparation. Rather, your personality, the knowledge is reflected right since what you have learned since your childhood. So everything gets reflected. So there are mock interviews, there are different interview preparation programs, you may join them. And at the end of the day, when you are in front of the panel, you have to be very honest, you have to be very original. That's it. They make you very comfortable so that your actual persona comes out. So interview is not a difficult, that's why they don't call it interview. If they are supposedly you are from mechanical engineering and they are asking you some basic questions on mechanical engineering, if you are not answering them, and if you have forgotten something, they are asking about some circuits or something, you are not able to tell that, it does not matter, because your knowledge has already been tested in prelims and mains. But yes, if they are asking you questions like Rishi has said, like, yes, if you are from Bihar or if you are from Assam, there are frequent floods in Assam or Bihar, so what should government do for that? If you are posted there, how are you going to manage that? So that is something where your opinion is being sought. So they are trying to understand your personality, how you are going to tackle that thing. So interview, believe me, it's not at all very difficult, it's very simple. You go there, they are very friendly, they are very nice, they are very cordial, but yes, don't bluff with them. They are very, very senior people, 60 years minimum, 60 years of age, 5 people, so on an average 300 years of experience. So please be original there if you get into that particular if you are lucky to go there for interviews. Yes. Then there's a question to you, Rishi. So can I know what's your optional subject?
Yeah, mine was optional was sociology. Sociology.
Sociology.
Yes.
Okay. Your background was engineering and you opted for sociology.
Yeah,
Just briefly tell them why you opted for that.
yeah. Actually, ma'am, I did my BTech in 2011. I completed my BTech. Then I served for 3 years in Electronics Corporation of India Limited. So the nature of work in the company in which I was working was field work. So I was not able to practice the engineering stream, because if you have an engineering optional, as far as I know, you must practice it on a regular basis, because it's all about numerical accuracy in your answers. So I was not able to revise the things and to practice the thing. So ultimately, I resigned in 2015. So it was a gap of 4 years almost. So I thought it would be better to take up some humanities paper, because I was not in touch with my engineering stream. So that's why I decided to go for sociology. And since sociology, I was also quite interested in sociology, because it's all about society, and some of the contents are there in the essays also, and some of the paper, GS paper one. So I thought it might help me in some way. So it was my interest, first of all, to go for sociology, and then second, some of its linkages with the GS papers. So this was.
Then another question was, sir, I am a very average student. Can I clear UPSC?
See, yes, ma'am. Obviously, see, UPSC doesn't know who is genius, who is average. UPSC selects those who are clearing the exams. So
Yes.
earlier as I have already said, ki how much amount is required to crack the exam. If you are giving that much of hard work, whether you are taking 2 years or 3 years, it doesn't matter. If you are able to achieve that threshold, you will be clearing the exam, and it doesn't matter whether you are an average or whether you are an intermediate. So believe me, if you work in a proper direction with proper guidance, you will be cracking the exam.
There's one question, ma'am. What is nature of prelims exam? Whether it is totally dynamic or some static as well. See, if you see the question paper, it's a combination of both. We cannot say that it's completely your current affairs. No, we have a combination of both. And even the current questions that are being asked, sometimes something is in the news. Say, for example, right now, what was happening in Rajasthan, what was happening in Karnataka, what was happening. There has been a lot of pull and push within the political parties. They were pulling the MLAs here and there. So there might be a question with respect to anti-defection law. Yeah, so something that is there in the current basic of that, and sometimes some basic is there, something current happening around that basic, they might ask the question. So it's a good combination of both the things. So that's why I'm saying please go through the question papers, so that gives you an idea. Don't go by what others are saying. When UPSC is clearly giving you everything, previous year question papers, syllabus, then nobody is your best guru than the UPSC website itself. Yeah, so go and please see there. Then will exam be merged for 2020-21C? Unless and until we have any notification from Government of India, DOPT, or from UPSC, we cannot say anything. Rumor mongering, grapevine is there, but those who are preparing for 2020, I would say that please, until and unless we have a government notification, please take this exam as it is scheduled. That is 4th of October. So merging, no merging, please don't get into this. Just prepare whenever it will happen. And if it is going to be postponed, UPSC is going to inform you, DOPT is going to inform you. Don't go by the rumors. And one last question, Rishi.
Yes, ma'am.
What would you suggest for those who are preparing for 2021 or later on? How they should prepare? What should be their strategy?
See, most of the strategy, ma'am, you have already discussed and you have already given a very detailed explanation of everything. I will just say follow basic books, keep your sources limited, revise them multiple times, and reading will be whatever you are studying, integrate them with test papers because that will give you a better assessment of the things. And again, you have to revise those test papers also. Prepare for mains and prepare for prelims and mains in an integrated manner. Don't work in silos because if you are not able to revise anything, it will go waste. So prepare in an integrated manner, give test, and I think have faith in yourself because this is such an exam that you have to prepare at every point of time. You have to keep in mind that I will be cracking this exam. This positive outlook will help you in cracking this exam. So do hard work, have patience, have positive outlook. Everything is possible in this world, as it is already said. Nothing is impossible. So I will say everybody can crack this exam.
Yes, anybody with any kind of graduation background can clear this exam. The only thing is you have to be very positive about taking up this exam. One last question I'll take, that is, ma'am, is electrical a good subject to be taken as optional? See, all the subjects are good to be taken as optionals. People are getting through this electrical engineering. I have a very good example, Mr. Mayank Mittal. Last year he became IPS 95 rank. This year he has become he IS. He has got 47 rank, and he is our student. So that's why I know him personally. So he has been qualifying this exam twice. First attempt IPS, second attempt IS, and electrical engineering. So it's not only Mayank. There are so many other people who are qualifying this exam with electrical engineering. The only thing is whether you are comfortable writing the exam with electrical engineering or not. Don't go by what that herd mentality. Okay, this enthro is going on, so let us take enthro. This particular optional is in the vogue, so let us go by that. You listen to your inner self, and then you can take this exam with that optional. And electrical engineering, all the optionals are equally good. I would not say this is good or that is bad. If you see the UPSC analysis, it comes out every year with its analysis after the results. And you will see that, even in the list, you will see that people from different optionals are getting selected. So it's not your optional. It is basically how comfortable you are with the optional. That is important. So that's all from our side. Again, I would say that that this exam is very much doable. हर कोई इसको कर सकता है, चाहे वो आपका कैसा भी background क्यों ना हो, financially आपका background कैसा भी हो, आपका qualification wise आपका background कैसा भी हो. The only thing is you have to be very honest with your preparation. आपको at least 1 साल या 10 महीने तो इसकी preparation में लगाने ही होंगे. उसके अलावा कोई शॉर्टकट नहीं है इस एग्जाम के लिए. So you have to be very consistent, very sincere, and yes, we all can do this exam. So all the best for those who are preparing for this year as well as for the coming years. In case you have any queries regarding your optional, regarding your scholarships, or any other queries regarding your preparation, please write to us. Please visit our website NextIS and please send us the queries. Your queries would be answered. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. That was really informative. And thank you a lot for inspiring us from your thoughts. So next, I would request the next IAS, the guests, to hand over the certificate to our club president, Mr. RTR Mushabir Hussain K. Thank you, sir. I thank the institution from our president's side for handing over the certificate. If any of the club members have any questions, I would keep it open for you all. You can please ask the questions for the guests, I feel. Okay, so we'll move further. Thank you, dignitaries, for coming over and giving your valuable time for this. And we are very honored to have you over this meeting. Now I request our club secretary, RTR Meghna Raj, to take over for vote of thanks. I, RTR Ankita Itagi, Vice Secretary of Reva Road Track Club, would like to sign off. Thank you, everyone.